Good morning, class. Today we are here again with a new chapter, that is control and the coordination. Now look at the few clips. We laugh, we sing, we touch, we dream, we relax, we jog or we exercise. Okay, we walk, we can feel pain. All these things are done by us through a system. That system is known as our nervous system. In this lesson, we are going to study in detail about this system. Here are few of the points that you have to keep in mind while studying this lesson. You will able to learn about the nervous system, uh, the neuron, the central nervous system, the components, the reflex action, and the parts of the human brain. And by the end of this lesson, you will be able to learn describe the functions of the nervous system, describe the functional unit of the nervous system, that is our neuron, explain the communication between the central nervous system and the parts of the body, describe the components of the brain, describe the mechanism behind the movement of a muscle, define reflex action, describe the parts of the human brain, and describe the function of the human brain. These are the few points that you are going to study in detail during this chapter, and I hope the video is quite clear to you and it's quite audible to you. If you are not able to hear my voice, you can communicate with me directly on my phone. Okay, now look at the diagram. This is the diagram of a nervous system. Mainly it consists of brain, spinal cords, and a network of nerves that is connected to the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, now these nerves send the signal to the brain, and in turn brain send the signals to these nerves to perform the various functions. If this signal is not sent between the brain and the nerves, then our body will not able to coordinate with each other and work properly. Now look at following functions of the nervous system. The functions of the nervous systems are to control the voluntary activities like reading, walking, and the involuntary action like heart beating and the breathing. Okay, now if we talk about brain uses the information that it receives from the nerves to control and coordinate in our actions and the reactions. Now look at another diagram that you are going to see now. Now we are going to study that how we receive or send a signal between a particular body part and between the brain. Okay, there is a functional unit inside our nervous system that is known as neuron. Neuron is the basic functional unit. We are going to study first of all about the parts of the neuron. Neuron consists of a cell body, dendrites, and the axon. Okay, the cell body is also known as cytosol, and then axon is the middle part. You can see. Now you can see there are two neurons. One neuron is connected to the another neuron, one with the nerve ending and second with the dendrite part. Okay, now both this neuron, there is a transmission occur between the you can say there is a signal occur between both this neuron by the means of a function known as synapse. Okay, now we are going to study how the signals are transmitted from a particular body part to the neuron. Various network of nerves that are located throughout our body. These nerves are connected to a spinal cord and the brain. As a phone receives a signal and sends the signal, same way our nerves receive the signal and they send the signal to the brain and the spinal cord. Now there are various networks of nerves connected in our body, and there's mainly three types of nerves, that is sensory nerves, the motor nerves, and the your mixed nerves. If we'll talk about what is a nerve carries the information in the form of an electrochemical signal called the impulses, and these nerve impulses travel to and from the brain and the spinal cord to the muscles in located throughout the body and helps in sending and receiving of the signals. Now these signals are received by our body by the means of various sense organs that are located throughout our body. These sense organs are mainly our eye, our ear, our nose, our skin, our pressure that we feel, and Taste. We are going to study how these sensory organs helps in getting us the signals. Second is our motor neuron. Motor neuron is mainly located to our muscles that helps in carrying the signals from muscles to the spinal cord. Now, mixed nerves are mainly consist of both types of nerves, it is sensory and the motor nerves. Now you are going to study how this nerve impulse is generated and transmitted through the neuron. Mainly nerve impulse is generated by sensory organs. In sensory organs they are neurons. These neurons from the dendrite portion sends the signal to the cell body. From the cell body it goes to the axon, and from axon it goes to the end part of the dendrite, end part of the nerve, that is a nerve ending. From here it releases the chemicals. That chemicals are known as neurotransmitter, and the space from the gap where it's transmitted is known as synapse. Now these chemicals again send a signal throughout the nerve body and to a particular motor organ, that is you can say your muscle. After reaching over there they perform their function. Now you can see that a signal is transmitted. These signals are transmitted throughout our body continuously to perform the various function, and these neurons are connected to the various body parts. Now you can see various examples, like when we touch a hot object, or somebody beats us, or by we get a cut from a particular knife, our body suddenly sends signals to our by the means of our neurons to the spinal cord, and in return our body performs a various function by removing our body part from that particular point which is going to hurt us or happening something to our body. Now how these things occur? By the process known as reflex action. What is reflex action? It's an involuntary action by our body. That is a sudden response that is generated by our body in the response of our external stimuli. External stimuli can be a hot object, beating of somebody, or the burning. These all are the external stimuli in which our body in against of which our body responds, and this is known as reflex action. Like when we touch a hot object, our sensory neurons sends a signal to our spinal cord. In return our spinal cord sends the signal to our hand to remove our hand to the hot pan. So this is known as reflex action, and this mainly happens by the means of our brain, neuron and the spinal cord. Now neurons carry signal from the body to the brain, and in return the brain sends a signal to the particular body part so that we can remove our hand from that particular position. Okay, we are going to study how this reflex action occur. This reflex action mainly occur by a path. That path is known as reflex arc. This reflex arc mainly is a pathway through which we send and receives the signal in our body. I hope this is clear to you. Tomorrow again we are going to continue with our chapter by with our next topic, that is the central nervous system. I hope the video is clear to you. Thank you and have a nice day.